Hello and welcome to Member Musing, the Middle East and North Africa Leisure and Attractions Council's original podcast. You're joining me, Brooke Hall, as I talk to council members about the dynamic MENA leisure and entertainment landscape. Well, it's taken 27 episodes to get my latest guest on the Member Musing podcast, but he's well worth the wait. A big welcome to Silvio Liedtke, CEO of Landmark Leisure and Vice President of MENALAC. Silvio, it's wonderful to have you on the podcast finally.
Thank you, Brooke, and I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
So, Silvio, you've joined me today to speak specifically about MENALAC, its past, present, and its future. Now, as our audience may know, it's been recently announced that MENALAC is to partner with the global trade organization IAAPA a bit later this year in 2026. And I'm sure many people are keen to find out more about this move and what it means for the region's leisure and the leisure industry, but we'll come to that a little bit later in this interview. First, I want to take you back a decade when the idea of MENALAC was first born. You're a founding member, Silvio, so obviously I'm keen to hear your first-hand perspective of what inspired the creation of the MENALAC Council and what the early days were actually like. So tell me, how did it all begin?
Yeah, thank you, Brooke, and I can't believe it took 26 other episodes before I come online. So, but anyhow, here we are. Listen, I have been in the Middle East now for substantially longer than a decade, and I always have been working in the indoor leisure and entertainment industry, particularly focusing on family entertainment centers in various forms and sizes and shapes. So, for a long time, the kind of trade and the kind of networking and the kind of education in our industry happened through various exhibitions around the world, which were mostly dominated by IAAPA in America and by IAAPA in Europe. So every time we went there as delegates from the Middle East, we always felt kind of bit of patronized. It was always about the big players in the North American market or in the European market, and we felt the industry here in the Middle East, particularly in terms of indoor entertainment, given our climatic conditions, we were actually in the forefront of innovation, evolution, and we created substantial products which set the benchmark for the rest of the world. One of such things is that our industry here in the Middle East never really worked with cash. It was always about digital card systems, where the customers basically moves their spend onto a card, and every play and every game was generated through a digital system. And the other markets at the time, if I go back 15 years ago, still operated on cash in a lot of European countries, even in North America. So we always felt, Big Brother North America and Big Brother IAAPA don't really give us enough attention. That was the kind of fighting spirits within, and it was on one of those long 14, 15-hour flights back from Orlando to Dubai, where some of delegates of our industry here in the Middle East, we had plenty of time, and in the corridors of an Emirates airplane, we discussed what could we possibly do to stop that trend and put us a bit on the map. And at that time, and I don't know if it was 11 or 12 years ago, we found a opportunity, because the biggest hurdle at the time we fought is how will we be able to create an association, non-for-profit making, but how will we ever get the license to do just that? And the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, with the then founded Dubai Accreditation Council, offered a non-for-profit body that chance to register with a proper trade license as an association. And We then, before that, we organized a massive health and safety conference, because at the time a lot was talked about global safety standards, and we had a speaker from Italy there on that conference. But we also had the majority of Middle East operators in the indoor leisure and entertainment sector, and some theme parks as well, present at that meeting. And fundamentally, that was I think 29 or 27 of us came together after that safety seminar, and MENALAC was founded. And I still remember this non-flattering picture, certainly from my perspective, but that was the birthplace. I think it was the meeting room in the Crown Plaza in Dubai, where that founding meeting happened. I'm pretty sure it was, and that was the birthplace of MENALAC. Yeah, and if you really look, maybe I preempt some of your questions also, but our original vision has not changed since day one. And is we wanted to put the Middle East leisure and entertainment industry on the map globally, and we wanted to get our members recognized to serve it in the best possible way.
Thank you.
And I even to this date, this vision has not changed.
Absolutely. And that is, yeah, perhaps something we would have spoken about, sort of what was the initial mission. And I know safety is also a large part of that mission, and bringing those safety standards. And you've got members, that are all about safety standards, and they've kind of been the safety experts, and that have shared resources and their knowledge and insight with not only just the council members, but the whole MENA leisure landscape. And as you kind of refer to a little bit, there is sometimes either the thought or reality that things can be challenging in this region, particularly, not just a decade, but further back. And a lot of companies, will have found challenges setting themselves up, learning, by mistakes, finding the licenses, finding the right people. And so creating that council of those people who have really strived and driven, have failed and succeeded to come together and to create, a wonderful mismatch of not just regional but global, players as well, to learn from each other and to grow. And that you can see with the members that MENALAC has, how passionate they still are of driving the region, the innovation, and everyone's. It's kind of also exciting to not know where it's going, what path it's going to take. The trends are kind of coming quick every year. There's a new trend, whether they stay or go. And so being a part of that, but also from my perspective, just kind of witnessing it as well as I live in the region and work with these key brands, it's exciting for me to see how fast the region is growing. You've told me about the inception, but then maybe a few little anecdotes of memorable highs from the past 9, 10 years. Any challenges, maybe that I haven't already kind of mentioned, that you feel have shaped the organization along the way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, probably one of the greatest satisfaction was the fact that is from an idea we had, which was fairly kind of dreamish, and what if, we always contemplated to the point where we got our first trade license was kind of a moment, and what we also have seen is we had some up and downs, we came through COVID as an association, and all our business were massively impacted. Uh, but we just didn't die down. we stayed relevant. And I do believe that was a major focus, particularly our health and safety subcommittee did brilliantly because we shared a lot of best practices across our businesses in the Middle East in terms of how to deal with this kind of unknown phenomenon, on how to deal in a hygienic and safe way in the best possible way. And uh, we the innovation here in the Middle East has not standing still either. I still believe, and I see it every day. So new concepts coming out left, right, and center. Obviously, currently we have to deal with some external influences which might put the brakes on the overall innovation speed a bit. But I do believe it's not going to stop, and the innovation is going to continue. Certainly, one of my personal highlights is we always fought. Um, Certainly, I was a big driver in creating kind of signature initiatives of MENALAC, which will help us to establish ourselves beyond the daily grind of operation and safety procedures, which don't always tickles everybody's excitement, but it's the bread and butter of our business. We have millions, if not billions, of moments every day of the week where we have to ensure the safety uh, and health of families with children. Yeah, small, very small, medium age teenagers, adults. So we have to do that. So, but we wanted to really create MENALAC's legacy beyond the core competence. And one of such thing was MENALAC Awards, which I think we had 7 different versions now because we had a break in the middle with COVID. Even I remember the first year where COVID hit. I think the whole kind of process started at the beginning of 2019 or 20, I can't remember. I think in January or February, and our MENALAC Awards were planned in March or April later that year. We actually did one online, so we did those MENALACs online in the first year of COVID because the nominations were all in. Everything was planned and the jury done their jobs. So we actually did the online process to award the regional best practices and top players, and but MENALAC Awards has seen a substantial growth in importance and also in reflection about what is good, what is unique about the Middle East. So we play hard, but we also celebrate hard, and the way we have celebrated our overachievers, our innovators, our heroes in our industry, um, in my view, has been nothing sort of astonishing. And we were groundbreaking in some of our industries where we focused not only on operators but also on suppliers and manufacturers. But we also focused on store managers for smaller areas and store managers for establishment managers for bigger theme parks. So we actually also were able to reward the individuals which usually get lost in translation. We also have a MENALAC Hall of Fame where we have some very astute and innovative and hugely influential members of our industries who have really helped shape our industry in this part of the world. So those are legacies, MENALAC. They will not get lost, and unfortunately, we had to cancel this year's event. But again, our nominations are in, and we will award our best placers. Maybe not in a physical event, but surely in another way of form. The trophies are manufactured. The jury has done its job, uh, and the results should be in shortly. I have no idea, as usual, who is the winner, but um, which is another thing which I personally and we as organization should be extremely proud of, is that our awards are 100% democratic in any way, shape or form, and the integrity of our judging panel's decisions is 100% guaranteed. So nobody in our organization, apart from our internal auditors, would know the exact results of those voting. And so I'm really proud of that. And it's another legacy we leave as MENALAC, that we can be trusted. We have been able to grow our membership every single year over the last 10 or 11 years, whatever it is. And we, as probably biggest achievement, and I come back to our regional vision, is to serve our members in this region in the best possible way. MENALAC's success has been recognized by IAAPA, and IAAPA approached us to join forces to serve our members in the Middle East even better than neither MENALAC or IAAPA in worldwide can do at this point. So I'm that recognition, that drive by the IAAPA board and by the IAAPA membership to create one unified body for the leisure and entertainment industry in Middle East and North Africa, so basically in the whole Arab-speaking world, has to go down as our biggest achievement.
I think, yeah, we've spoken a few times throughout the year, Silvio, mostly on the MENALAC Awards red carpet. And so it was, I'm glad you kind of chatted about your feelings on the awards. And it certainly is, a highlight of my year to be able to attend. And I can see firsthand from that, slightly external perspective of the the amazing kind of atmosphere it creates, and what it instills and how it elevates, the industry, and then trickling down to those kind of individual brands as well. And you've commented before on, kind of how proud you are of those awards, along with all the other events you kind of have touched upon a little bit, like the safety. You started, I think, 2017 with a safety conference and a CEO conference, and each year there've been various other large scale to smaller initiatives, from webinars to your focused events, focus on country events like Abu Dhabi, Egypt in 2024, and that has always come back to, that mission that you've spoken about. And I'm great to hear, very pleased to hear that the awards will go ahead in some capacity to honour, the past years, businesses and brands that have been, driving this phase of the MENA leisure and entertainment industry. And since you've touched on IAAPA, and let's talk about this kind of new phase. I totally understand what you're saying about bringing together, the best of the best, and having this real solid organization for the region that has perhaps ties to, the rest of the world. And it does absolutely demonstrate what MENALAC and both organisations are striving to do, and how they can come together to, be like a powerhouse. So maybe you can just say a little bit more about specifically how you see the partnership and the collaboration benefiting the industry and members across the region, as well as maybe just your insight on where we're going in MENA.
Yeah, Brooke, if I start what MENALAC will bring into this, let's say, marriage, is, MENALAC one, one of the legacies we leave beyond what I mentioned earlier is also our kind of connection to the small and medium enterprises. So we have received a lot of feedback. Uh, we done a lot of social gatherings. Uh, we did a lot, as you said, podcasting, where every person who works in our industry has a chance to demonstrate their competence and their innovation and their reason for being around. Uh, MENALAC provided a platform for a lot of small players. Yeah, even some of our award winners over the years uh, were really, really unique niche brands. I remember one year the Mermaids of Arabia won an award for most. I don't even
Playscape?
I can't
I
forget
think it
the
was
category.
Playscape. Yeah.
But this only happened in MENALAC. Where really unique members, unique brands. We didn't just cater for the mainstream big players. We try to be open for everyone. And our communication tools, our our way we dealt with our social initiatives. Those are legacies. Those how we formed a loyal membership, and uh, even since announcing the merger with IAAPA, this feedback has received. Please make sure we don't lose that touch. And there's certainly one role we're gonna play in this new marriage. I might add, Brooke, that part of the um, transition into fully fledged IAAPA MENA cartel is that for the next 9 years, almost 50% of the regional IAAPA board will be made out of current IAAPA board members. So this way we can ensure that for the first 3 terms of 3 years of that IAAPA MENA advisory board, we have a substantial presence of MENALAC champions, enthusiasts, passionate followers, passionate players who ensure that our legacy and our vision will not go totally astray and dominated by other influences. We also certainly, as head of the transitional task force of MENALAC into this marriage, I have been and being involved in interviewing the the regional director for IAAPA MENA. So we had that influence as well to ensure that we have a say in terms of who will executively shape the MENA the IAAPA MENA office, which will incidentally also be placed in the same office building we currently have our office in MENALAC. Yeah. What IAAPA will bring to the marriage, in my view, is if you look at the Middle East, even if you just look in the UAE, we still have 7 emirates with 7 distinctively different safety protocols, procedures, recognizing uh, different processes in terms of what you can and cannot do. Um, and if you translate it into all the countries of Middle East and North Africa, you will have a plethora of different ball games. And ultimately, I do believe we can only serve our members best if we can somehow go away towards standardizing, particularly for companies who want to operate more in just one country in the Middle East and North Africa. We have to do a better job standardizing, influencing governments to come up to a more common sense and common platform or of dealing with the most important issue, and that is keeping our customers and staff alike very healthy and safe. And IAPA certainly can help our region with that in terms of overall recognition, in terms of pedigree, in terms of know-how. I do believe there's an even greater chance to do that better than both organizations can do right now individually. So MENALAC brings in the regional flair, the regional connectivity, and IAPA brings in the global powerhouse, the global competence, and marry them both together, in my view, can only mean good news for every single member.
Well, the analogy you gave, Silvio, about being a marriage, I think is a really great way to describe it. Kind of individual entities coming together with their strengths and collaborating, but there's always going to be that next exciting journey together. And we'll see over the next few months in the transition and also, post the merger, how that all unfolds. While some people might see it as an uncertain time, I think a lot will see it as a very exciting time and how we can elevate the best of both organizations, as you've said, and solidify them. And how will that impact the MENA leisure and attractions sector, which is the whole point at the end of today, at the end of the day, from both MENALAC and from IAAPA as well, and all the individual council members and members that they represent. There's definitely more information to come, I'm sure, and we'll keep our eyes peeled on those from both sides and as a collective as IAAPA MENA goes forward later in 2026. But we'll have to wrap up there for now, Silvio. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Obviously, I'm thrilled to have gotten the opportunity to speak with you on Member Musing, despite it taking 3 years. 3 years. But I've
Okay.
succeeded in getting you in the hot seat. Thank you for speaking about MENALAC and its legacy with me. It's obviously been a very important and a poignant discussion.
Thank you so much, Brooke, and thank you for everybody who's listening for your support of MENALAC. And as I hopefully clearly explained, we are not gone. We just took a different surname in the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. As I said, audience, it's been 3 years of me chatting with MENALAC members, and I've enjoyed each episode learning all about the various brands, events, and initiatives, as well as the industry that continues to amaze me and so many others. Thank you to our audience for continuing to tune in to these insightful discussions on Member Musing. You can check out all the previous podcast episodes on YouTube and Spotify now. It's goodbye for me, Brooke Hall, for now. Let us all watch this space for the next phase and evolution of the regional leisure, entertainment, and attractions landscape.